lads, so today is going to be a reminder to get to 5 million points. Every time this does come around, we talk about it. And in this case, because it is the end of the year, there are a lot of new players trying out the game. And maybe you don't even know this is a thing. But essentially, lads, if you go to the point event right now, have a look at the rewards themselves. And we go to the point reward, there is a final reward that you can get. For the most part, we get one of these every 3 months. But as you can see here, for reaching 5 million points, you do get a technique special move source. And for those wondering what a special move source is, you can see here, essentially it gives you a free duplicate of any character in the given attribute. In this case, we can get a technique one, so you can basically get a free technique character to special move level 2 if you want to use that item on them. And since I'm going to get asked, how do you get the rainbow special move sources, which you can use on any character regardless of the attribute? You get that from the Brave Soul Collector Passport, and you have to purchase that for 3 months. These special move sources are super valuable, and in any situation, regardless of how you have to get it, if there is a free special move source available, you have to grab it. Otherwise, you're just wasting potentially thousands of orbs in any given situation sometime in the future. Let's say you're trying to go for that final dupe, or you're trying to go for a dupe of your favorite character. Well, if you have that special move source, that saves you, again, thousands of orbs and potentially even money. So when it's free, definitely grab it up. And again, all you have to do is get 5 million points. 5 million points in general is actually quite easy. It's not hard to do. Even if you are someone with 0 bonus characters, therefore it might take an extra bit of soul tickets to get to that 5 million points, you have 2 weeks to do it. It's not hard. It might take a bit of time, but in the end, it's always going to be worth it. And as of right now, we currently have 4.5 million points. So let's jump into the extra quest Ultra, where if we do beat this quest, we are going to get our free 500k rewards, and that will get us that technique special move source. Alright, so jumping into the quest. This one's probably going to be one of the more annoying stages. Mainly just to complete once, because again, you don't want to farm this Ultra quest. You just want to do it once to get the 500k and then stop. But in this case, because Sergeant does have a human killer, they of course made it so there are human enemies in this quest. And with the level 200 that they're at, with the fact they have poise and it's the human enemies, it can be, this could unironically be one of the hardest stages in the game. But obviously, because we are using a speed character, we are getting that bonus damage. I do have a 3 out of 5 Uryu here, so we are also getting a bit more damage. But even with Uryu, we got to play it safe here, right? We don't want to go too fast, get ahead of ourselves, and then get caught. So I'm not going to try and flash step too much into them. And there we go. Going against Chad. 1 strong attack should kill him. Okay, 2. And a soul bomb. There we go. Chad goes down. And with that, we should get our 500k points, which we can then get our free technique special move source. Only 44 seconds. Not too bad. And there we go. 5 million points. And there is our technique move source. Absolutely beautiful. And with that said, now with that special move source acquired, we can see that we have 2 technique move sources, 1 speed and also 1 rainbow. So now let's talk about, as always, who is actually worth using that source on. I know a lot of you lads, if you haven't already done the grind to get it, you are going to get it soon, and you're probably going to be really eager to use that special move source on certain characters. Now, in my opinion, before we do talk about who is worth using on, I think first we need to talk about when it's really worth using. So in my opinion, the biggest differences you'll see when you get a dupe of a particular character is their first dupe and then their final dupe. Anything in between really doesn't make that much of a difference. And the reason for that is because when you do get dupes, you get more damage, right? Your first dupe, unlocking that second slot, is going to allow you to get the focus slot. And with that focus slot unlocked, you're going to be getting guaranteed criticals, and that will overall increase your DPS by quite a bit. The third slot, which you could argue you could give to attack, and attack does affect your strong attack damage, but in my opinion, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. And then the fourth slot, you would either give like stamina or defense. And sure, it makes the character a tad bit tankier, but sometimes, again, it doesn't make that much of a difference, right? Unless you're using a NAD character in Brave Hours. And then the final slot itself, again, also doesn't make that much of a difference. But because you now unlocked all 5 slots, you then get access to the final slot, which you can then re-roll to try and get an additional 500 SP. And that, again, is once more increasing your DPS by quite a bit. So those are the 2 times that I would recommend giving a special move source to any character. It would be the first one to get their first dupe. So in this case, Uryu would pick up 1,000 additional focus, and that would actually be really good for his DPS. And then the next example would be giving it to someone like Tsukishima. I don't recommend it, by the way, but getting him that final dupe will then get him to the 6th slot. And again, I can try and get 500 extra SP, and his DPS is going to see a pretty big increase. After that, now let's talk about what character is worth using that move source on. The first character, of course, is going to be Toshiro. Really like the idea that they gave us a really powerful technique character alongside a free technique move source, right? So for those that are trying to go for Toshiro, or for those that are big Toshiro fans, you only have to get the character once, and you can get that move source to get its focus slot. Or if you're trying to go for a 5-5 Toshiro, for example, you know that you're going to get a free duplicate from the point event, and that could potentially save you quite a few thousand orbs. trying to go for that final copy, right? So Toshiro, in addition to being the newest technique limited character, he is the best technique character in the game, so he's definitely worth using the source on. You know, if he isn't, then basically no other character is worth using on, in my opinion. Uryu wouldn't really be the worst idea. He is, again, another technique limited character, so he isn't going to be the most common character to be pulled, and he is at the same time also a farming character, right? You want to use this character in Inheritance Trials, Droplet Zone, and also in Epic Raids to get extra Droplet, Link Swap Potions, and also Super Link Swap Potions. Now, personally, despite that, I'm not going to use mine on him for the main reason because I only really use him in IT, and in Inheritance Trials, he kind of goes through relatively easy because he does go through Iron Skin, and sure, getting that additional 1000 focus would be nice, but to me, it's not that big of a deal. Aizen, another great Nad character, again, one of the better characters in the game. Definitely worth using on him if you see yourself using him quite a bit and you do like this character. And then I guess my last recommendation would probably be this Retsu. Keep in mind though, she is now a year old and there are going to be times that she will be featured as a filler in future SAFWY banners. So you might be hesitant on actually using her because you could potentially pull her in the future. But regardless, she's still one of the better technique characters in the game and she's still limited. Other than that though, I really don't recommend using on anyone else. Those are like the only 4 characters that I would even consider myself using this special move source on. Anyone else, despite being good, I just don't think it's worth it. Epic Ichigo might be someone you want to use it on. Again, Epic Ichigo is a great character, but he's also premium. You're going to pull him in the future. Kurashiki is a Brave Battle character, so I personally wouldn't really use on him. And other than that, there's no other character that's really, again, worth using on. Roka, while I do think she's great, I just don't think a lot of people are going to use on her, so I wouldn't really recommend it. But at the end of the day, it is your special move source, right? You farmed for it, you got it. You can use on whoever you want to, right? I'm not here to tell you how to play the game. I'm just giving a recommendation. Toshiro and Aizen are my top 2 and who I would use it on. And then Uryu and Retsu would be good choices. And then anyone else, I think you might be better off saving it for a future OP tech character. But wait, Toshiro's right here. But for those curious what I plan to do when it comes to the special move sources, as already shown, I have 2 special move sources right now. So technically, you know, Aizen is a great character. He's currently 3 out of 5. I could use those 2 sources to get him 5-5, and that wouldn't be the worst idea. It really wouldn't. But personally to me, a 3 out of 5 Aizen is good enough. A 3 out of 5 Aizen is good enough. I use him occasionally in IT when there's a rank at enemies. Definitely can get a use out of him in Guild Quest, but a lot of times I kind of just like nuke with SP characters, so I'm more so like using my sources on SP characters, right? And in this case, since I already have Retsu 5-5, my next target is to try and get this character 5-5. I was very fortunate enough, even though I did spend around 8,000 orbs to get this character special move level 2 out of 5. And with those 2 technique sources that I do have, I could get him 4-5. So the current plan right now is to just wait for his individual banner. His individual banner will be coming out on the 24th, I believe. I'm actually missing the entire banner, so I won't even mind summoning on that, trying to get the other fillers too. But if I do get that final dupe, almost of that 3rd copy, I would then use those 2 tech sources that I do have to then get him 5-5, where I'll unlock the 6th slot and try and get that extra 500 SP, and he will see a massive damage increase. He's going to be our main SP character and a lot of just normal play content. He's going to get a tad bit more stats in Arena if I want to use him there, and he's also going to be a really good side character in Guild Quest, which I do need kind of more supportive. At the same time, and this is again more so just from my account, I already have kind of a 5-5. I don't have Sergeant, and because I have this character max transcended for the most part, if I ever pull on their rerun banner, let's say 3 months from now, I'm always going to have the fear of potentially getting another Kaname, which I don't really want to do. So the plan right now, again, is to get that last dupe on his individual banner, try and pick up Sergeant because I still don't have him on his individual banner, and then essentially, I never have to pull on any of their banners ever again whenever they do get a rerun. Because at that point, I would have swept the banner, and I would have gotten the 2 more important ones, Toshiro and also Kaname, max transcended. But that's only my plan. In the comments below, let me know what you lads plan to do when it comes to this special move source. Have you already used it? Are you saving it? Never a bad thing to save these sources. The longer it takes you to use it, the more value it has because, you know, like myself, right? I never used the last tech source that we got like 6 or so months ago. And it's kind of paying off because we got this really powerful technique character that I potentially only have to pull 3 times today and get max transcended. The longer you save them, the better it is because more powerful characters are going to come out. And if you want that character, it potentially means you have to get significantly less dupes to them, the more sources you do have. But yeah, with that said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.